Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah.
You are listening to the Lost Minds. You say it, that sounds better.
You are listening to the Lost Minds podcast.
Let's get this session started with a deep breathing exercise. And by deep breathing exercise, I mean, see on the inside.
Hello. What are you doing? Just making a podcast. Bet your ass cool.
Here we go. Testing 1, 2, 3. Cool. I'll cut that out.
Yeah, right. You never cut shit out. Welcome back to the Lost Minds podcast. It's been 2 weeks since the last time we recorded.
Yeah, no, it's Easter. It's just like Jesus, dude. We went down for 2 weeks and then risen on the third. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good though. It's like a whole year, so a whole year and then like a little break. But
it's not bad. A little vacay.
2 weeks off in a whole year.
I'm going to be taking some time off too in April.
Why?
Because I'm going to Mexico. I guess we're not going to be recording while I'm gone, so.
Yeah, because you'll be gone for how many days?
4. And then when we come back, we're going.
That's what we'll
gold
do.
Hunting.
We got to make sure that we'll just do it before. We'll record before and then we'll have something to release.
Well, we're going to have to record something after.
And it'll be like listening to the past. Because if you go on your cruise, you'll hear it like 5 days later. And then next thing you know, it'll be like you, blast from the past. Instead of it having been uploaded, right? Like maybe. Like I won't listen to that shit on a cruise.
It's not a cruise. I'm going down to Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were going on a cruise for some reason. I thought it was like a Mexican cruise they gave you.
I wish it was. That'd be so much cooler.
No.
I would spend all of the money, because they give you like a $700 allowance or whatever to spend for to doing things. I think I'm just going to go fishing, dude. To be honest with you, like deep sea fishing.
Like,
why wouldn't you, dude?
Everything out here costs about $800. Like, oh.
800 pesos. Which is
That's right,
cheap.
80 pesos.
I'm like, how many times can I go fishing?
$30.
Yeah. He's like, you can go fishing the whole time.
They'll take them. Oh, really?
You own the business. Congratulations, boss.
Oh, that'd be so funny. Dude, I wonder if you can. Are you going to leave? Do you think they have the Alfred there? Have you already looked at the packages? Or are you going to leave and go to the city? Go find a random fish boat. Hey, come here. Whistle over a little. So motor him over and pull in his net. You're like, can I hop on?
You got to use Spanish, though. You got to be like, hey, amigo. And he'd be like,
Vamos, aquí.
He's like, I speak English. I'm like, okay. I want to drive around. He's like, this ain't a fishing boat. I'm like, I want to go fishing.
Yeah, he's like, get off my fucking boat.
It's just random, dude. No, but I haven't looked at it, but I wish they would have something like that. If they do, that's what I'd be doing for 4 days, deep sea fishing.
So it's not a cruise, it's just a fucking
Resort.
Yeah,
all expense paid resort.
That's not bad. Spa, all
breakfast,
that shit.
lunch, dinner. Alcohol's free. Everything's free.
Deep sea fishing. If you want to really go deep sea fishing, go out on a wooden, maybe one sail boat.
With a spear and
look for a white whale. Or a kraken or some shit. That's nuts, because those boats probably, I don't even know how big, they're probably like 20 feet. I imagine it was probably like the same size as the fucking whale. All of a sudden they're like,
if not smaller.
Out in a storm, yeah, it's so nuts, dude. The water for me, that's fucking psychotic.
But you got to think about it, though.
I don't even know what's in there. I don't trust that shit.
People, that's the weird thing about people is we want to go towards the unknown and conquer it. So it's like, motherfucker.
Some people.
Dude, I want to see some people. No one wants us to conquer the water, dude. It's like been hardly explored.
Dude, we're like ants, though. See, we keep sending waves and waves of people. Maybe the first guy doesn't make it very far.
Maybe the first few thousands.
And yeah, but over thousands of people putting little dents into it, we make that unknown known.
No, it's like a whole other world, dude. It's like sticking your head in. It's like Little Mermaid. It's like a whole other thing, dude. They're like breathing in water instead. You know, they mix air out of there, and like just living in a whole other world. Like we go in there and it's like a whole new realm because we'd have to have like our own breathing apparatus. It's like being in space. You're like we can't even move. Gravity's different for you there.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like
what it's like a whole new planet, dude. And that's why I think everyone's so scared. You start going down a little bit, and then your chest starts hurting. Oh my god, this is panicking. Hurry, float your way up to the top, and
then
your
die.
fucking eye pops or some shit because you didn't pressurize or something. You're like, ugh.
You get the bends or whatever it's called, or your veins pop.
Yeah, that shit is intense. See, and that's crazy. That's fucking craziness.
Yeah, if you, what is it, you resurface too fast?
Or you get down there, let's go all the way to the bottom, else in your little tiny, unmovable little tiny pod that just hanging there, like on a string that crushes like a little can, crushes you in there. Because they can't even move around. They don't have like little drone motors, so like they just float, kind of like they just drop down like on a string.
That would be super scary if you were in one of those little submersible boat things, and you're down at the Marianas Trench, and then you hear the bolts cracking. It's like,
oh man, one of them probably. That's all it takes.
But the good thing is you'd be dead like
it'd be instant.
Hopefully.
No, you would, dude.
Your head luckily sticks out just at the perfect angle with your arms and your legs.
Oh yeah, you plug it up,
and they just pull
on the
it
other
out.
side.
Yep.
But then you save everyone in there, dude. So don't worry.
Everybody else in there gets killed. Though.
All the weird fish come and they start eating the body. They're like, "That's how we had to do. We had to chum the waters to get the other fish out." Mm-hmm. That's why I don't get. They should do some shit like that. Maybe chum the water, bring something in there, maybe some other dead fish, but like a kraken or something. If they would think that they're in there, would come out. Instead, there's like down there some bright lights. Maybe I'll go to it, but
dude, I'm pretty sure there's still like
your light doesn't travel very much.
No,
down there, right?
Oh shit!
What are those coal fish they found? The ones they thought they were extinct like millions of years ago, but they still exist.
I don't know. I think Megalodon.
No.
What was that?
Coal fish?
Yeah, they're like armored fish.
With the light on its head or whatever?
No, they're full armor, and their teeth. They've got like two big bottom teeth and one top tooth.
Damn, I think I maybe have seen a photo of them.
And they
look
found
like a fucking dinosaur.
Yeah, they look like a dinosaur, and they found one back in like the 1800s, and they thought it was a hoax because like these things have been extinct for like 500,000 years or something. And then fishermen found another one, and now they've found schools of them living in the ocean.
And now they're extinct.
I know.
They've been fished.
It's true. What's the one? It was one of the gray rhino or gray rhino, white rhino. One of the fucking rhinos just died in captivation. So it
was like the black rhino, no?
Something like that, wasn't it? Did it end? Or there's like one left, or they're gonna have to try and have a baby or some shit. But I'm like, that's kind of crazy, dude. Just like that. But then again, I mean,
fucking giraffes.
Importantly,
they're getting less and less fucking alive.
Those are such a weird animal.
There's only 30,000 left or something like that, so they're on the watch list.
Giraffes are weird.
Dude, see, giraffe is like a fucking alien. You see that?
It's evolution, dude.
And they're mean as fuck, too. And people like think they're like nice. And in the wild, they're kicking and fucking slapping each other.
Them,
and
dude. Why would you
fucking headbutting each other. Yeah, I know, huh? I would never. You walk next to them and they try and stomp you or run. Stomple. I always fucking bring. They try and stomp on you.
Stomple, dude.
Dude, that's so funny. I love the wilderness and stuff because I wish they would get rid of zoos because of that whole fucking Disney. What do they call that? Where they make animals and stuff seem like, oh, it's a teddy bear. Oh, bears are nice and teddy and cuddly, but that's like one of the last things you want to run into in the woods. And what do they call that? They make it where they have making animals seem nice, and so when you see them in the zoo, oh, look at them, and then when someone falls in the cage, like, oh my god, I can't believe it's doing that. I can't. It's a fucking tiger, It's like, ooh, finally, tiger life. I can be tigery. And so that kind of shit, dude, I'm like, I think it would be better to let them see it in the wild. Or like just what I'm watching on YouTube, like when you see a tiger that comes into the border areas of India where they're building their new cities and shit, and then just, next thing you know, like a leopard or a tiger jumps on top of the fucking roof and
you
just starts
scratching
scratching
people. You actually watched that video of the
shit.
jaguar that goes into the house?
The one that comes out of the roof?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, jaguar, is that where they're all on top and he's like jumping at him, like fucking grabbing them all?
It's crazy, dude.
Dude, that'd be the worst to run into something like that. And that's why I think people...
A group of people trying to tag you down?
Run into a jaguar. Just one of them, dude.
I thought you were looking at the perspective from the jaguar.
They're the most dangerous,
grab you and just take you up. No, tigers are. I guess they're vengeful.
Oh, I could see that. Cat's got like a little bit of personality.
So no joke, if you kill a tiger's family,
looks like a dead fish.
He'll come find
This is a dead one, but
that's kind of crazy, dude. I believe that kind of shit.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Because cats are weird, dude. Don't you ever think like cats fucking push your shit off the wall, like on purpose, or like move your shit? Or...
I don't. I usually flush my shit down the toilet. I don't leave it on the wall.
I know. I smear it all over, and then the cat's pheromone goes crazy.
Dude, that automatically.
This is my house.
Junior high school, dude.
Cat's poop does that to you, right? Or like if you live in a house where the cat shits or whatever, the pheromone or like the little fucking bacteria's on it. Like if a cat is living in an area where mice are and it's shitting there, the pheromone from the shit makes the mice more attracted to it and makes it easier for the cat to catch those particular mice. And I guess for humans, when they're smelling it, it's fine for like females, but for men, it makes them aggro or some shit. So men, if your cat's got a certain bacteria, certain men can be like short-tempered apparently, or something like that.
Is that why Danny's so angry? Because his cat,
or the poop from it, from like it's some kind of thing. I want to say it even gets kind of like you just kind of get like a little.
Who the fuck is running those experiments? Is what I want to know.
The same people that did the South Park one with cheesing, you know, when they get behind it and it's like cheeses in its face, and then they go to like some magical planet.
But cheesing, you mean?
Imagine the guy.
They strap a cat down right behind it and like spread its leg on some stirrup thing, and then they like aggro it, and then it's like and it sprays them with their like pheromone, you know, not with their regular pee.
Imagine the first guy, dude, just being like, "Hey, you ever get mad when you smell your cat's poop? I'm gonna run some tests."
Yeah, I gotta get some. That's probably. Why are you so mad? It's your fucking cat. That's why it's pissing me off. No, it's not. I'll fucking prove it. I'm a goddamn scientist.
I can see it.
No labs for the hours. But how it worked. Going back to zoo talk with fucking cats. That when I was little, my mom was telling me a story. When one of the first times we went to the zoo, she was like, I went there and she was kind of pushing me and just kind of around on a stroller and stuff. And they went to one of the cat exhibits, and then there was a cat pacing around back and forth. I think it was like the mountain lion or something. And all of a sudden, like, the cat started being all weird, moving back and forth. And there's a whole line of, like, kids and shit there. And then the guy's like, "Run, it's gonna spray." And the fucking cat turned around and was like, and sprayed. And it fucking was like, "Wow," and just, like, went all over us. And, like, went all over the kids. And I was like, "Oh, my God," trying to, like, get at. And the cat was, like, pissing on everybody.
Really?
Yeah, it was like because they're right next to the fence, you know, and I think it was like territorial, but they can't do shit, you know. And
what a perverted cat, dude, just peed on a bunch of kids.
And it's not like that normal pee, it's like that pheromone piss, you know, when they mark their spot. Like,
so you guys all fucking probably went crazy and started running around the park.
That's why I'm crazy, dude. I got a mouthful of that when I was a baby. I was like, and the parasites were in my head, and I was like, and they're like, "Is that a Chucky baby? What the fuck is that?" And it's like,
Chucky baby, you're like running around with the knives.
That'd be interesting, but. Yeah, I don't know. It's that with zoos. I think. I mean, it can be. I think more fun to actually see it in the wild and be like, "Oh my God, look, there it is!" You know, check it out.
But imagine how much that would cost you.
Oh my God, I know. It'd be
you want to go see a lion? Let's go to Africa.
Dude, I don't know.
You want to see an elephant?
Let's go to Africa again.
You want to see a giraffe?
Or watch it on Planet Earth. Watch it on Planet Earth, dude.
What about an orangutan?
Dude, Planet Earth is like the best way to experience animals, I think. Or something like that, where the drone's watching it or something, and you're like, what the fuck?
The last thing I want to do is see a baboon in the wild.
Fuck yeah, dude, I want to see that. That's why I watch real-life baboons on there, and I'm like, dude, they're fuckers, dude. Look at them beat the shit out of each other for no reason. That one's like trying to be mean to the other one.
Dude, baboons are like lions that look like people.
Dude, they're mean, dude.
They're freaking mean.
Their teeth are... But it's crazy watching them catch it, dude. Have you seen how they catch them and shit? How they like
catch baboons?
Yeah, dig a little hole in the ground and shit.
Oh yeah.
And they put like a rock in there or some shit, or like a bag of rocks, and then they put it in the hole and they mess with the hole for a while, and then the baboons will just sit there and stare at them. This is how they make. This is how they actually get water. Is what I've seen. How like people in the desert will get water, and then they will leave, and then the monkey will run back there. And
is it doing the deal with the chimpanzee?
I thought it was like a baboon too. I thought it was in the desert.
I'm not 100%
I think it was with any monkey because like they're so greedy and they'll stick their little hand in there and they grab onto whatever's in there. And if you run them in there, they want to get out and they can't get their fucking hand out. So like they'll just hold on to the shit and they'll just fucking sit there. So the guy will run up there and the thing will be like, and they'll just like rope it and they'll rope it around the thing and they'll sit there and fucking try and like get the rope off or like try and get the shit out. And so it's just so occupied and they'll sit there. And then finally, like after a while, they, I guess being so muscle dense, they dehydrate like crazy.
They feed them salt.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like, the salt's like super rare for them to find.
Does it have any? What was it like? Does their muscle content have anything to do with that, or is it just they just dehydrate from that?
I think they dehydrate from the salt.
Okay.
But they crave it because it's so good.
See, for some reason, that's what I thought they were. That makes more sense.
They feed them salt cubes. Whoa, shoot.
That makes way more sense.
They feed them salt cubes.
And then, yeah, they let them go, and then they'll fucking take off.
They run straight to the water.
And they just follow it, and there's like hidden oases they hop into, and they just like jump into areas, caves where there's water. And you're like, what the fuck? But then again, I think that'd be kind of sketchy. Like hop in there, and all of a sudden, all the one's like, that one fucking tied me up, dude. It's like, because I was watching that documentary with that guy, that weird old scientist dude that you see him in a bunch of animal ones. Not Bill Nye, but he watches.
Steve Irwin?
Oh man, I wish I knew it. He should know his name. But he sits there and he'll just watch him, and he has all this footage of him. And how there's like he watches the psychology of him. Like, yeah, this one's, whatever, kind of like the alpha, and this one's like the little bitch nerd one, and this one's Frank, and that one's whatever. And dude, it's crazy. He's like, oh no, he's coming in. They're gonna pick on him. They're gonna pick on this one.
They bully him.
They fucking beat him up, dude. Throw him around, pick on him. Like, dude, it's so mean, dude. The baboons and oh, dude, all animals are crazy, and you might see them. Oh, look at, like, I would think Lion King, the freaking
Rafiki.
Yeah, he's gonna
such a nice guy.
Lift up my little baby and stuff like that, and he's gonna slam it on the rock, fucking probably eat it. After that, shit, a baby lion would be a perfect meal for a baboon.
It would probably feel like it won something too if it was eating a baby lion.
Fuck yeah.
Hopefully it got away though.
Jungle.
And they don't really eat them too, huh? That's the bush meat. Because some of them do. People eat the monkeys, but not often. Because they're pretty dirty and whatever. But that's how you get AIDS, right? That's how we got AIDS.
Yeah, I don't know, something like that.
That's how they say. Yeah, they got, because there's like that funny Dave Chappelle joke.
Eating them or loving them. I don't remember which.
It was like Dave Chappelle, dude. He's like, I would love to. He's like, I'll pay to see somebody try and have sex with a monkey. Go ahead, grab that monkey. He's like, see what happens. You grab onto him, back, turn around and beat the shit out of you. Like bite your dick off. And he's like, that bitch is crazy. And that's why I'm like, that's kind of funny. And I never thought about it until I listened to that Radio Lab where they talked about how Agent Zero or whatever, because they got bushmeat and then it was an infected dirty monkey. Since it's so close related, being a sapien primate, fucking while he's cutting it up, cut himself. Oh fuck, keeps cutting the meat. Blood on blood right there, pathogen. Next thing you know, first guy has got AIDS. And it's like, even they could have done it, say that didn't even affect them then, and doesn't cook the meat right. So fucking they're starving. Maybe they don't. They just, Crazy Horse, they gave them fucking little turtle heart. People eat that shit, like on Dancing with the Wolves.
Mm-hmm. A turtle heart?
Yeah, that was like, I listened to that on a little podcast.
Like a horse heart or something?
No, I was listening to that on the Joe Rogan podcast with that guy, the Crazy Horse. When he was a little kid, his dad, they caught a tortoise and he cut the heart out of a tortoise because the tortoise heart pumps a little extra longer, and so like it still pumps like 5 minutes after. So like he brought it to him and it was like still pumping. It's like, oh my god! And so he ate it. So like, and so they're like,
it's like crack rocks or pop rocks in your mouth.
It's called being a man, dude. There are people who they would be able to survive so much more than us, dude. Like I was even thinking about that.
I think if you get pushed to the limit, you can survive.
Yeah, but I was thinking about that dude, like passing the crackhead ladies fucking on the street. She's got a blanket over her head, her little cart's tipped over. She's digging through all of her scrounge shit, She's been there for, like, I passed this area and I've seen her there for 2 years, all up and down different sidewalks, all over the place. I'm like, how is this lady still here? Right then I just thought, I'm like, oh my god, dude, when the road comes, when it's the fucking apocalypse, when we're going, down that thing, I'm like, those fuckers are the ones that are going to be alive. They're already surviving now.
Are you talking about El Paso?
I'm talking about Salt Lake City, dude. I'm talking about any transient people here. Oh, for sure in El Paso, too. But the transients, dude, anybody that's sleeping on the streets now, living on the streets now, living in huts and shit, they will survive the end of the world. They're already scrounging out of trash. They're scrounging for what they got. They're living in weird things. They're already infected with hep and all that shit, and they're living
The only way for them is up, right?
Yeah, really, dude.
Dude, welcome to my world.
Unless their little camp burn, yeah, they don't care.
Well, they would, maybe. But, like, let's say the apocalypse happens now. I don't even know how it would happen, but...
Well, maybe it happens
Power grid goes out. Boom. No more power.
That's the one.
Everybody who's got weapons is going to be armed. Homeless people don't have weapons. If all hell starts breaking loose, I think it's going to be a scramble and it's going to be random. It's basically going to be a dice roll. Whether homeless people, make it or don't, or whether, like, middle-class people make it or they don't. I think it's just going to be a coin toss, really.
I think it will, and I think...
In the long run, if a homeless person does make it through the initial shitstorm, they'll probably have a better chance.
I think they'll do really good. I think the homeless will do really good. And I listened to this thing, this Jordan Peterson guy was talking about how a lot of people that are prepping kind of are actually psychopaths because it's a psychopathic tendency to be like, oh my God, I need to protect myself. I need to look out for myself.
How's that psychopath?
Because like...
Is that natural?
Yeah, because you have this...
There's nothing wrong with being a psychopath.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it.
Because that's the natural response for yourself. Yeah, to like as a fucking creature to be like, oh my God, you need to protect the unit that is you, and to the extent of the depth of it. And so there's a thing where he was saying like, people will get ready and do that kind of stuff, but once something like that happens, where it's an instant gratitude, where someone's like, okay, the apocalypse is here, and if someone is putting so much time, effort, and kind of committed to that. so heartedly, and all of a sudden it's finally there. You know, it's like D-Day to them. Like, sometimes like they'll might go into a shock or like a rush of something because they're like, it's fucking here, it's here. What do I do? You know, no one's getting shit. You know, and say that's the guy. Like, start wasting everyone on the street and everything like that. And all the crackheads are like living down in the gully, like, oh my god, this is fucking horrible. And next thing you know, he's kind of doing stuff. They sound pat, pat, pat. This one's like pat, and then next thing you know, a few weeks later, they're still scrounging. They're hearing something like, "Koom, koom," you know, and then all of a sudden, they're hearing weird things, you know. And after that time, there's a lot of noise stops, and they kind of start coming out of the woodworks because they've just been living in the trees anyways, scrounging. Go to that guy, and then they notice kind of a little beat up area, and he's like, "Get out of there!" He's hitting stuff with a bat. Oh man, he's out of bullets. No one's been making bullets. He can't find any more casings. He's already running out of stuff. Gunpowder's short. Supplies are limited. We're running out of stockpiles, dude. It's only took a matter of time. We've used them all up, and it's like, oh my god, now we're back to sticks and stones. It's like, or I guess metal edges.
And then you try to attack him, but joke's on you, suckers. He's got a full basement.
He's got a friend, and he's like connected with bunkers.
And and they're connected with the bunkers underground.
Because that's the one thing that is kind of interesting. That's with the road, because he kind of preps or whatever, but he just ends up getting a gun, basically, and it has, 6 bullets or some shit?
One bullet.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought he gets he uses a couple. Doesn't he use a couple?
I think he maybe has 2 bullets. Because one of the guys... One of the creepy dudes
shot one in the air or something.
Yeah, he shoots one. No, he shoots the guy.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, those cannibal dudes are coming to kill him or whatever. And then that one guy grabs his kid, and he's like, let him go. And he's like, no, I'm going to eat him or whatever. And then he shoots that guy with the one last bullet he had left. Then he grabs his kid and runs, and the cannibals end up eating their own friend or whatever.
Damn, something like that. That's how I almost see it, how it would kind of turn out.
Like, I don't want to be a prepper, but I think it'd be cool to have a bunker.
It's smart to prep.
Fuck yeah.
I've slowly been kind of prepping. I mean, I have
a water bottle.
I mean, I have equipment and gear and stuff. Of course, you know, always like because I also too have like totes and stuff with like my camping gear and shit.
Do you have a go bag?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you're a psychopath.
Do you have one?
What's a go bag?
You don't know what a go bag is?
No, I don't have a go bag.
So right now you got an alert message that said, "All right, fucking, you better run." You don't have a bag that's ready to go?
No. Damn. I should have one though.
It's pretty. I mean, I've got a little spread out, but I'm trying to do that because even the little shit I got camping ones, you can just throw those in. Mm-hmm. The stuff that I did hear though, I heard recently someone I can't remember who was talking about it, but it made sense. Also bringing seeds and stuff, little bits of seeds. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, that's kind of good. Having a little seed bank. I'm like, damn, I haven't done that.
So how long do seeds last though?
If you take them, I mean, take good care of them. I think quite a bit. I mean, I'll refresh them over time, but it's just good to have, you know. I mean, it'll be at least a couple of years, I'm sure, if I had. I'd seen, because people do that too with their food storage and the prep, but someone had like kind of set a way where you can kind of cycle it. Yeah. So if you do a year, you know, and then you plan on using those, so you buy new seeds, put them in your stockpile, take your old ones, use them, and then do the same thing. So like that next season, I'll take the old ones, put those in, use them, put the new ones in my stash. But that's like, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of hard, but
it'd probably be smart to learn how to get seeds again from your plants.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of smart. So
because if you use up all your seeds, then you're like, well, fuck.
I know next year's really gonna suck, guys. Not gonna have any tomatoes.
Dude, except for lettuce, man. So one year we planted lettuce in the backyard, like along the side of the fence, and we kind of lost track of it. Some of it, like actually. Like bloomed or whatever, and it let the spores out. So the year after that, our whole backyard was just lettuce, like growing everywhere. I was like mowing lettuce.
Did you ever try eating any of it?
Yeah, I mean you could if you wanted to, but there was so much. Like the whole backyard was full of it.
See, that's kind of cool. That's the kind of stuff you got to get. Did it keep coming back every year?
No, it only came back like 1 or 2 times, and then it stopped. But I think it's just because I was mowing it, and it didn't have time to like.
Have time to flourish.
Yeah.
Taking off its heads, because some of those will keep coming up every year, right? If you leave them,
there's only certain things will come up every year.
I wonder if those would be the seeds to get.
I know roses come up every year. Those are edible.
Like general seeds. I didn't even check that shit. That's a good thing because I didn't even think about that.
So what would you have? Lettuce, potatoes,
potatoes for sure. Potatoes. Carrots, so you can make yourself a good stew.
It's not bad. I just have like peppers and then tomatoes and stuff.
Peppers, carrots, and tomatoes.
Because I felt like those are really easy to grow, at least for here. I also got some other seeds. Allegedly.
It's funny. Jalapeno?
That would suck, though, because it'd make you hungry. You know,
yeah.
well, there goes all my supplies.
Have one and then have another.
Dude, I'd have red hot peppers, so that way I can make tapatio in the freaking apocalypse, and everybody would love me.
Have some chili pepper. It's kind of funny because when I was over in Texas or whatever, the same kind of arid climate, desert, you know, but it's weird. They have more, being lower, they have more like deserty, spiky plants and stuff, so they have more, I guess, desert-looking plants because they're not like us. We have higher altitude sage stuff, but it's like same climate and same shit. And everything, oh, fuck, I forgot what I was going with that.
Everything down there is drier?
Well, it's just like here in Salt Lake. Oh, damn it, I was going to be about the...
About the plants?
Yeah.
Spiky plants?
Shiz. Because I was gonna, because it was kind of shocking to me because it was so much similar. Oh damn, I forgot I was gonna talk about that, but it was so much similar to what like Utah was, but it was what fucking 800 miles away, 600 miles away. It would do the same shit. It was because I always
it's not in the mountains though. We're in the mountains,
but it still has like a desert climate, so it would be hot in the day, kind of how it is here now, and then all of a sudden at night it was like 0 degrees. But they wouldn't have like snowstorms, but random the things that they had were sandstorms or like it was like sand rainstorms. And they're like, this is like a crazy snowstorm for us, and they kept having those random things. It was like a sandstorm and like raining. And like it's kind of interesting, you know, because I felt like I'm like that's like crazy Utah weather, and it was something different.
What do you mean by sand rainstorm?
Like it was like a sandstorm and it would kick up all the sand, and then it would rain, and it would like fucking make like dirty rain all over your car looks like someone put sand on it.
That's
but it's like but it's like hard because it crusted on there. But it was like interesting because, like, I feel like I guess going back to some of those with here in Utah, like some of those plants, like with peppers and all that kind of stuff. That's what it was. You can grow. I mean, we can get like maybe pepperinis, regular chili peppers, or whatever, all that kind of stuff. Down in Texas, same kind of climate, same kind of dirt and all that kind of stuff, but just being in lower altitude, they literally can make. Like there was like 100 times the chili peppers and all kinds of stuff, and it was like growing all over the place and doing all. And same with the little cactus and stuff. And I was like, man, that's kind of crazy because some of the peppers I have will be like they'll grow really, really easy and they can do kind of stuff.
The green peppers and red peppers.
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't think I could ever. I mean, maybe I could. I shouldn't say ever, but I'm like, it'd probably be one of those like growing a banana tree here. You know, you'd have to fucking take care of it. But in my mind, I was like, it's so much similar. The climate, I mean, it's far, it's different, but it's still kind of got that desert.
Did you say banana tree? Bananas grow underground, dude.
Yeah.
Like potatoes.
That'd be so crazy. Dude, when I had done that random garden thing, I just stuck the spuds in. The old ones that I had sitting down, they already started like budding. So I just chopped them up, stuck them in, and they fucking worked.
For what plant?
Potato. And they just grew more potatoes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, that's the one. So I'm like, I got those little fucking things. I don't even need seeds.
I think what people do with potatoes is they, cut them in half?
Yeah, you just
plant
like,
one half and then one half on the other side or whatever with like a little fish in next to it for nutrients.
Oh, I can see that.
That's Pocahontas.
No, that makes sense, dude. That's how you do it. Something right there to fertilize it or whatever. Because they grow like so
in
quick.
the apocalypse, there'd be enough
Even
of that.
in the wintertime, like I'd put them in randomly and all of a sudden I just started digging them up. I'm like, what the fuck? All kinds of little holiday potatoes. I'm like, this is so easy. And same with, I bet, Sour Patch, or not a Sour Patch. Sour Patch Kids. Like, pop out a little, like, look at that little bud.
Cabbage patch.
Pull it off like a cactus head. Those little, like sweet potato or like yams or what do they have? You can kind of grow them in mounds too. They grow like weeds basically, like you're saying. Those are the ones that get something that grows like a weed, not like weed, but like something that's
food
like
that grows like a weed.
Yeah, so like lettuce, or even sometimes in certain like pepper plants, like those little pepperoncinis. Sometimes they grow so many, you're just like, fuck, what can I do with all that? It's like
pickle
perfect.
them.
Yeah, pickle them, dry them out. It's like, dude, that's other shit too that I don't think as now going into it that you don't realize. So once you start losing that and
don't you need a lot of vinegar for pickling shit?
Yeah, or like trying to ferment things or honey or something. You're like, damn, dude, where am I going to get this? Or,
that's the one thing you want to do is like learn how to make your own vinegar. And I think making your own vinegar is basically over distilling alcohol, right?
Where am I getting alcohol, dude?
You learn how to distill or like make yourself alcohol. Because I know.
Oh, like in Bosnia, like how they did the freaking moonshine. Just smush up some plants, boil them up.
But if you let it ferment for a lot longer, I think it turns into vinegar. Because this guy was making beer here in Utah, like his own little like beer thing, and he was telling me he like brought bottles and he's like, here, you could try it. He's like, but if you open it up, take a smell of it first. He's like, because it could be vinegar. And I'm like, what do you mean it could be vinegar? He's like, I can't really judge it. He's like, I'm kind of doing this by, just eyeing it. He's like, so first smell it first, and if it smells like vinegar, don't drink it because you're gonna be drinking vinegar basically. So If it smells like beer, then it's good. So I was like, wait, what? And that's when I learned that I guess it could turn in alcohol is vinegar, basically. Or vinegar is alcohol, over-distilled alcohol.
I like that. You're valuable in the apocalypse. It won't kill you.
Yep.
Good to know. He knows how to make vinegar. It's like, would you keep that information to yourself? Would you be like, I know how to make vinegar. I'll teach you.
He just keeps making alcohol. Really sweet alcohol.
Because
what would be wrong with that?
Sorry, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm drunk.
You walk up to like a gate, and they're like, in The Walking Dead, what do you have to bring to the table? I can make vinegar. They're like, what else? Alcohol? Why didn't you say that first? Come on in.
Dude, that would be actually kind of funny. I wonder if that's how it would maybe even be. Like, what can you do? Or how can... Because, I mean, now I'm so guilty of it too, and I feel like quick at it, you know, to be like, oh, I'm going to Google that, or where's that at? I'll just fucking Google Maps it or GPS it, you know, fucking whatever it might be. Now it's just like, tick, 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 tick. Whereas, you know, people now would be like, how do we make vinegar? Well, we got to find a book. What kind of book? No one's gonna have a book how to make vinegar. You know, it'd probably be like how to ferment and distill, or like whatever.
That's when the vegan comes into play.
Like,
well, it would be cool if
you're gonna be freaking
in an apocalypse. The guy's like, all right, so what we need an orchard, like a plum orchard or an apple orchard. You're like, because you want me to make it, I'm gonna need fruit or whatever to distill it or to ferment it. And they're like, well, we do have an orchard back here. You're like, well, I know how to make the distillery or whatever. Like for the moonshine, dude, that thing looked simple.
I know, just like kind of heating it up or something and like dripping it or something.
Yeah.
And I think that would work too. Is, I mean, good for probably, because adding bacterial and stuff if you needed to. Because really you could just cook up, like if you were to get the gray ash off of smoke after it's burned, whatever it is, you can mix that with water and it's been cleaned, so you can clean with it. So there's like a low grade thing like that, but with alcohol, you'd be moving on up right there. You could pour that in on a field and stuff like, because medieval times you get a scratch, you fucking die, and that's what I would be imagining. We're all dirty, you're getting kind of not as clean. You get a few scratches, especially on metal things or whatever it might be in some abandoned area. You're more likely to probably get tetanus or fucking staph because you're already dirty, and so you'll be scratching up on dirt, and your own skin makes it.
And if you're making something as pure as like moonshine, like the shit we were drinking in Europe,
you can even taste the burn. It's like,
that stuff it's like gasoline. I know my mom said during the war they used to use that stuff for like Molotovs.
Oh shit, yeah, because you smell it, you're like, whoa, and then you taste it and you're like, oh, it's not so bad, but fucking 2-3 later you're like, oh boy.
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. And that is kind of cool because it was...
You could use it as a weapon, you could use it as a party thing, you could use it as a disinfectant, you could use it as whatever, alcohol.
Dude, technologies is really... That takes it up to the next level too, because say you could start learning to do more of that stuff if you're doing more fire type style stuff, you learned how to, I don't know, heat up some quartz, you know, make some glass, you're starting to make different things. And you could probably... I mean, if you learned a lot of the basics like that, even... blacksmithing it'd be kind of hard, but if you were to like get some things.
Dude, have you watched any of the YouTube videos of the guys blacksmithing?
Yeah, it's fascinating to me. I love watching this stuff now, like leather making and blacksmithing and like all the old craft stuff, because it's crazy to me. I'm like, dude, how the fuck? And some of this stuff, they'll be doing it with. I mean, I like to watch some of the stuff like knife makers and stuff. They'll make it out of like railroad ties or whatever. But that's the stuff that kind of blows my mind. People make their homemade rigs. I'm like, dude. How did you just start coming up with this guy? Some guys just, I imagine someone back in the day, like getting something like, I'm going to fucking heat this thing up and smash it, you know, make it, or I don't even know, maybe
what do you mean, like the very beginning of
the very first one who's seen the iron, because I'd heard how beer saved the world, right? They think that was one of the first technologies. So they had hunter gatherers would stash the barley and or maybe the hops in the things, and over time, while they just had sit there, they'd rain and fill up, and as they go through their stashes, what they thought a normal hunter gatherer would save, by the time if they went through a rainy season of a couple days, by the third or fourth time it had dried and done that with the rain, and they drank it, it would have been like beer because it kind of would have fermented in a low grade sense, and they think that when they're like, oh man, you put water with this and then you do that and make stuff. And so I always imagine, like, if say that's how it worked, like some guy maybe, I don't know, walking around a mountainside and then sees this big heavy rock or something, I guess, because it's like coal or like iron ore, he's like weird looking stuff, and maybe it's like, throws it, puts it on the edge of his fire maybe to like fucking, for his fire pit, and then it melts a little bit. Like, how do you know? It's like, fucking start smacking with another rock or something.
I think it would. What they probably started with was jewelry, like small little pieces of jewelry, maybe making it, and they're like, "Find me a bigger ore. We'll make a bigger fire."
Dude, it's probably some little bitch ass dude
hotter
like
fire.
Yeah, and they're like, "We need it hotter." Because if you do just deduction, if you're the guy sitting there and you're like, "Okay, we found this little piece of metal, and I can heat it up, and I can work with it." Like mercury, I think was the first thing they did with, or lead, because lead melts pretty quickly. So let's say they were working with lead, and lead melts pretty quick or has a low melting point. They found some other substance. They're like, "Oh, this looks like lead, but it doesn't want to melt like lead does." So it's like, let's heat it up even more. And then it's like, "Oh, wait, this takes a lot, like, let's say it's iron or something." How do they make iron? Is it with, like, copper and something else? They got to mix it.
What do they, like, poke them together? Like, how do they get this time, dude? I'd be, like, looking around my back for, like, a tiger or something, a bear. I'm like, huh? Okay.
I don't think it was that, because it was fucking right before the medieval times, right?
Well, what is medieval times, though? Because in Rome, they had steel.
Oh, that's true.
Well, that's like guns, germs, and steel, right? Where like that's the three things that help shape the world the most is when people got guns and when people first got germs and then steel.
I could put money on Asia figuring it out first.
Steel?
Yeah.
Well, think about that. Those are certain areas got it, like places in Africa, like the Pygmies and then a lot of the Sahara Desert and all that stuff. They almost don't even have rocks. Like they just have sticks mainly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like that would be fucking crazy. I wonder what they, what I mean? And so like, I'm surprised they never thought to heat up their sand to make the quartz, because like a glass, even though it would break, would still be way stronger than like most of their sticks.
You could make a nasty spear tip or arrowhead with lightning glass.
See, yeah, I wonder why they didn't make a fire and do that, or
not even
maybe
that. Like,
made a fire and it was on the ice or the glass or on the sand and it made glass.
Imagine lightning hitting the desert, right? It should create. What do they call those? Like,
I've seen like a video or movie, some movie with like Reese Witherspoon where the guy puts the thing in the ground and like makes a cool design. I think that'd be sick, because I imagine like how exactly you're saying, it would probably hit, and whatever it hit would just be like just scatter it, like,
and it'd create
freeze.
Like a glass, right?
Oh yeah.
Then couldn't you be able to chip that up and make arrowheads and spear tips with it?
I would think so.
And glass flying through the air in the shape of a spear tip would probably be really deadly, or even used at a
hell yeah. Have you
seen? Arrowhead.
They make them now. People break glass bottles and you can and they make hella sharp ones. It's like that movie now. I'm thinking about it called "The Gods Must Be Crazy," where there's like a dude flying over the Sahara Desert, and then the fucking throws his Coke bottle out the window and it like lands in the ground in the sand, and one of the like guys finds it and out there and it's doesn't even know what it is. It's super hard, and he takes it back to his tribe, and they all go crazy for it because they're using it for tools, and they all trying to use it to do different things, and then they start fighting over it and clunking each other with it and like hitting each other, and so the guy thinks it's evil and he wants to banish it, so he takes it to throw it off the edge of the earth, and so he goes on a journey to throw it off the edge of the planet. And he like goes all the way, into like actual like Africa areas where there's freaking people fighting and doing whatever, and he's trying to get rid of this can, and the guy's like giving him a ride on his car, and he doesn't know how to drive a car, and he like sits on the hood of the car or the window, because it's like the safari window, so he's facing the seats, and he's like sitting on the dash, and like holding on to the thing, trying to like while the guy's driving the car, and so like because he's just like a pygmy kind of guy, like with sticks and stones, and eventually he gets it there and like throws it off the edge of the earth, but. Because they're more tribe people, and that's how far gone it is. They just have sticks, they use like atlatls, spears, things, and most of the time, it's everything they see is not none of that. They don't have any of the city germs. They didn't have any of the steel.
So how's he not confused about the Jeep?
He's confused about the whole thing because he never knew that. He never knew about any of that kind of stuff.
But his whole mission is to throw the Coca-Cola bottle off of a cliff.
Yep. He wants to, and even after he learns all that stuff, he still wants to get back to his tribe. But he's like finds out on him because he found that bottle. He finds out his problem. Then he needs to take care of it. But at least when he gets back to his tribe, I don't know if he tells them all, whatever. But
they probably kill him because he's like, I was on this giant green square thing that was moving faster than a man could run.
Driving him around. It's crazy. It's like a 1950s movie or something, 1960s, and so they use like real tribe people, and it looks like they did a kind of an interesting job of how they did it, and it's a really good movie. But it's funny because there's some of the scenes like they're just like they did. You know, they just did it raw because like their part with the soldiers, they have to like pull up to the consulate, you know, and get out and run up there to get the guy. And so like they pull up in these jeeps. They have 2 jeeps, and all the people go up and one. The first jeep's like, and then they all stop to get out, and he hits the brakes, and they all jump out. And the other jeeps hits a little brakes a little too like late, and so he like hits the brakes hard, and so the people in that jeep like fucking get thrown out of it. Like, and they just had to probably keep that scene. They're like, perfect, let's go, you know. But like they just like, you stop there and you stop there, and then jump out at the same time, and then it's like, all right. And so the ones did it, but they didn't like really fall. And the other one like stopped a little too soon, and so like 2 guys like hit the ground, and you're just like, oh my god. And so it's kind of funny to me because in that, you know, in that world, it's like a completely different world.
Keep running.
That'd be terrifying.
But maybe it was just how they did film editing back in the day, because I remember a lot of Jackie Chan's movies were like that too, where he almost got run over by that bus or fell out of the bus. The bus like hit a wall or something, and they were supposed to like fall out onto the car, but the 2 actors ended up falling over the car and onto the asphalt, and they're just like, keep going, keep going.
Dude, that's what's kind of crazy about those kind of movies too, because if it looks good, they're like, keep going, play it off. Even I guess kind of going down the movie scene now. I remember watching a scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, and Admir's got these new Boses. He's like, dude, I hear everything. And that's so funny, dude. I like that. But with the scene with Leonardo DiCaprio, it's in Django. And it's like after the 2 guys are fighting and stuff like that, and he has the guy coming in, and he's like, yeah, and he screams or whatever, and he like smashes his glass, he like fucking slices his hand open, and he starts bleeding all over the place, and that was not supposed to happen in the thing.
Of course not.
And he like grabs the rag, and he's like, and he like puts it on there, and he like starts talking and still doing the thing, like holding it and stuff, and like it actually happened in the scene, and they fucking kept it. They're like, that's the one.
Well, yeah, whenever you
like,
get actual blood
dude.
in a scene, that's what you want to
and
keep.
he just went for it, you know, and they're like, oh fuck yeah. And I don't know, I kind of like that kind of shit. I wonder how often that does happen, that movie magic.
The crazy thing is, like, I was watching a couple of things about like the old Jurassic Parks and stuff, and those movies to this day they hold up. Like,
oh yeah,
because they
except for the part where they're holding the door and the fucking raptor's trying to get in.
Like,
that part was
pushing
stupid.
it. Yeah, it'd be fucking like boom, bitch.
The little boy wasn't doing anything. He could have ran to the computer, you know, or got a shotgun, but he's sitting there holding the part of the door with the hinges that's not opening, you know.
Oh yeah.
Instead of holding
the lady was, or someone was. So the lady and the guy were holding the door closed, but the lady's pushing the part where the hinges are. So she's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And the little boy is standing next to the girl who's on the computer trying to close or activate the locks. So he could have got up from his ass, fucking picked up the shotgun and gave it to one of them and been like, here,
or
kill
even
him.
just stuck the shotgun through the door and hit the raptor.
But he wanted to stand there next to the girl and just be like, hurry up, you gotta go.
I know, they're about to die.
Yeah.
I scratched him. Like,
yeah, but that's back in the good old days when little kids were just supposed to stay out of the way and not do anything.
So you think a T-Rex will flip a truck over and just start squishing it, foot on top, and it's like, and they're like trying to climb out underneath it? Or you think they'll just fucking keep flipping that thing?
Oh, yeah, that thing would have been tossed around.
Well, if you think about it, it's probably its instinct to flip something over on its belly and then try to get at it from the bottom. Because that's what even animals do nowadays. You don't see a hyena eating anything from the back.
Fucking bears do,
They go
dude.
from the underneath.
Bear, once they just barely get a hold of it, they'll start eating that fucker while it's alive. It'll be like,
Yeah, but they'll go for your
looking around,
sensitive
it's like,
areas first.
it's true. It eats like butthole or like
Yep.
something like that. It's
And
true,
that-
dude. They'll get the vitals, like those genitals and stuff.
And that's what... Dude, that would be so terrible to die like that. Oh, God.
Dude, that's why bringing it back to the zoo stuff, I feel like we should watch that shit on Planet Earth and see that stuff. Like, oh my God, bears are cool. But when you see a bear in the wild, be like, fuck, we need to, like, you know, they should kind of teach that too and be like, you need to do something. Because, I mean, there's a bunch of theories on that too. I don't even know what I would do.
Dude, any animal that's bigger than you should stay the fuck away from it. Just period. Like, even horses, like, they're cool and they're domesticated, but even then, that thing could fucking kill you in one hit.
The wild horses are not
Who
wild.
said if chickens were human-sized, they'd be the worst
I believe
fucking
it.
animal?
Dude, they would.
Was it Joe
They'd be like a
Rogan? I think it was
velociraptor,
Joe
dude.
Rogan, maybe.
They are velociraptors.
Where they would just run around and they wouldn't give a fuck. They'd just start pecking people's faces off.
Dude, they
I
non-discriminately
believe
eat you, dude. You watch any video of someone who owns chickens building something around them, those little fuckers follow you around and they... Dude, like, I used to have chickens in the backyard, and were you there with me, like, flipping over rocks?
Yeah, I remember we were doing that shit in Bosnia. They would, like, just kind of follow us around. We, like, move some logs to go chop. They're like, whoosh, run over to it. Follow us around all the way. Because they seen us pick up the axes and shit, and they knew we were going to go digging through the stumps and, like, following us. was like, dude.
They see
they
you.
Knew that that was what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Like, you know what happens when a person's holding an axe? Either one of us is losing our head, or they're going to be picking up those old rocks that we can't move.
Either way, we're going to
underneath.
Eat.
Yeah, we're getting the hiding ones.
So they're like little raptors, dude. You ever been attacked by a rooster?
Nope.
Dude, when I was a little kid, I got attacked by a rooster. I still remember that shit. It's not cool. They're velociraptors, dude. They're little like...
And they could take a kick, apparently.
Dude, they don't stop. They'll keep coming after you.
That's kind of crazy.
They're like Bill Cosby on steroids.
It's like...
a rooster.
You seen the video of the soldiers marching down like a sidewalk, and the first guy gets attacked by like a Canadian geese or goose?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
It's like these guys go into war and they'll fight enemies head on with rifles, but as soon as a goose comes around, they run away, and the goose like charges the first guy in line, and he's like, "Whoa!" Fucking runs away.
Oh my god.
Dude, they're raptors, man. I would hate if chickens were even like triple the size they are now. They'd be creepy.
That's why it's interesting with the dinosaur stuff, because I know they'd be stupid as fuck, like a lot of those birds, you know.
You could definitely outsmart them.
Yeah, but some birds, like fucking falcons and ravens and shit, they might trick on you.
Dude, imagine if there was a bald eagle the size of a person.
Dude, gold eagles are like the size of me, dude. Fuck.
Their wingspan's pretty long,
wide,
right?
Yeah.
6 meters, 7 meters.
I think they're called...
Dude, a bald eagle, like that human size.
Harpies eagle. Those things are nasty, dude.
Well, isn't that like...
They're huge.
Weird, actually, that is like a weird response too, right? Like where when you see a plane go over, you get shadow over your head, you kind of like get that jerk because there was large birds, right? At the time of our ancestors growing up, I listened to a radio lab of it. They found a bunch of skulls in certain areas where they had scratches around the eyes where they think that it was a larger animal that picked the eyes out of whatever the little kid it was. So it was like a large enough bird that it was eating children. And so like we have a response to be like, oh shit, look for the bird, you know, or pterodactyl maybe. So probably, you know, we think like, oh, it's a reptile with fucking skin, but you know, I mean, how would we know? Cartilage and feathers and everything don't really
Didn't a lot
fossilize.
of dinosaurs have feathers?
Yeah, that's what they're like thinking now. Is like a bunch of them have. But maybe once they finally get underneath the sheets of Antarctica ice and they see all the frozen, petrified forests and everything. And
what do you mean once they get there?
Did you know the Utah raptor was 2 times bigger than the raptor in the Jurassic Park movies?
I didn't know it was that big, but I knew it was like fucking huge.
Huge. And it was supposedly covered in feathers.
See, that's kind of crazy.
Oh, how pretty.
Look how big the animals were, though, because that was what, Lake Bonneville, right? So because I just barely went up to, when I made a little video of like going to the living room hike, and you get just right up to the shoreline, and in there I just happened to, I'm like, what? This is why they call it shoreline? Just dig through the dirt a little bit, fucking seashells. Like, you don't even have to try. And so you think like that shit, just there's that whole flat area of like probably the last bit of water all the way around. I bet all the big ass animals went there. That's what you see now in Africa when you watch some of those videos of the Serengeti and those certain things where it's just a one little tiny water pile and everyone's there fighting fucking crocs, fucking tigers, and you know what are the little caribou, not caribou, but they're little spiky deer things.
Antelope?
Yeah, like the antelope stuff. Those are like that's how I imagine it, you know. So they're kind of there. You got the freaking freshwater megalodons that are still kind of kicking around in there. Maybe the crocs or whatever. Probably have some crazy fossils.
What do you think was kicking around in the Great Salt Lake when it was the Lake Bonneville?
I don't know. That's why I wonder if there would be pretty cool fossils under there, under like the Great Salt Lake, and like way down in the soot and the salt and like because it's like the bottom lake, right? That's why it's so salty. Everything runs to it, and there's no outlets, and so I wonder if it would even carry down like bones or crazy even because. Like you're saying, they find like the Utah raptor, and they're finding crazy already tons of fossils in Lake Powell and stuff, and that's what weird kind of connections of the lakes and stuff, all of them kind of into it.
Wasn't Flaming Gorge part of Lake Bonneville?
I think so. I think all of it wasn't it?
I think Flaming Gorge is crazy. Like it's basically like fishing on the ocean there because it's such a big lake, and you're fishing off of a boat and you're catching trout that are. And bass that are huge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's basically like ocean fishing in an inlet lake.
Which is kind of crazy, too, because, like...
In the mountains.
If it's even bigger, they have more space to grow. How big did they get? That's why I wonder if there was maybe, like, 10-foot freaking trout, or, like, probably, like, more like salmon or sturgeon than, like... With that fucking weird, like, face that you just barely showed of that fish that looks like that fish, you look like a dead, saggy old salmon when you go fishing.
Coleanthus?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they thought those things were extinct. Like, there's fossils of those. That's how old they are. Like, in stone, there's fossils, and they thought they were gone, extinct, you know, with the dinosaurs. And then in 1800, someone caught one in a net. Like, they're like, what the fuck? This can't be the... No, what happened is a scientist lady, she was like a clerk, was walking through a fish market in like Malaysia, and she's seen it on for sale on a fish vendor's cart.
Fuck.
So she ended up going home like, oh, no, that can't be right. And then the next day came back and bought the fish and sent a telegram to like the main scientist guy telling him like, I think I found this thing. And she wrote down what it looked like. And by the time the guy got there, she ended up having it skinned and having the skin saved. But they couldn't like 100% identify it because it could have been anything. Because they're just like, it's a skin. Like, we can't really say this is fact. It could be faked. And then they caught another one. Like, the guy, this main dude dedicated his life to like finding it. And he ended up finding more of them.
Damn.
And now they found schools of them swimming underwater, like super deep. And they're real. They still exist.
Which is, see, then that's, I mean, which is probably just one of many, right? Inside the big ass fucking abyss we don't even get to see. Let alone, like you're saying, some of our freshwater lakes. Even those, I wonder how, because you hear like,
there's got to be an outlet, no?
Yeah, because what is it? It's in, maybe it's Washington or somewhere. They have like two waterfalls, where one waterfall falls off the edge and kind of goes where the river runs. Well, and then the other one falls kind of into a pit where they've sent like little trackers and dies, and they have no idea where the water comes out at. Just like goes into the fucking.
Didn't they send like 10,000 golf balls or something, or ping pong balls, and they never came out?
They never found one of them.
Wow.
I was like, that's so nuts, dude. And I wonder how many of those are, you know, because there's a lot of areas too in other. I mean, a lot of that kind of stuff gets pushed forward and found by more, you know, I guess, countries that are like different countries that have the ability and time to be able to spend on research and do that kind of stuff. Because in a lot of areas they have to go, where it's in areas in countries where they're just trying to spend money to like get food, or they're getting robbed of their resources and stuff. Just like kind of in the rainforest where they found that huge, even larger Aztecian area because they finally had someone. They're like, well, there's stuff here, and they found some ruins, and they scanned the area, and they're like, oh no, there's like fucking highways and all that shit's underneath here. It's all under the shrubs. It's all under dirt. It's all under this crap. And
thousands of years of rainforest growth.
Yeah, it's like just a ton of stuff, and you know, it's only kind of because I guess the other people are like, well, now I can kind of come over there, you know, and how many areas are like that, like in different places in maybe Southeast Asia or certain places where there's like sinkholes or crazy things or pits that people don't know about, caves you hop in. You're like,
even in the U.S., dude.
Fuck, I bet, dude. Didn't they just really find some random ass people that were in a cave or in one of the mines?
Hills have eyes.
Yeah, they were like some people that were like missing for like 20 years or something, some thing, and they went down some mine where they said, I don't know, it was like right, not even that far away, but just no one had gone down in there, no one checked it. It's like, dude, how many of those are like that? Just fall a cave, find a mine, find... God, I don't know.
Did you hear about those two kids that they found in a freaking coal mine?
Was that them? That's when I was talking. I had heard something like that.
Like I think it was here in Utah. It was on the news. These two kids went missing, and they found them in a coal mine. They were like tied up and stabbed to death.
Damn.
That is kind of intense.
Dude, that's very intense. That's like a nightmare. It's like nightmare fuel.
Well, that's what I was also... Because we'd seen that their names were like... whoever it was like Powell or something. And it reminded me of that lady, Susan Powell, who had died or like the guy had murdered her or whatever.
No, didn't he like kidnap her and like they gave her back or something?
No, that was the Elizabeth
They never
Smart.
found her, right?
That was Elizabeth Smart.
Oh.
Yeah, Susan Powell was like... Because the guy was... that I used to work with, his... wife was like the daycare of like their children and stuff, and they'd always come over and stuff like that. And so she was the first one that was like, she's missing. She went missing. So because she like was supposed to have the kids come or whatever, and then I think the guy dropped them off instead. And she's like, oh, where is Susan or whatever. And so like, yeah, the kids have a recollection of going out camping that night in some random place, and they slept in the car, and then the mom and dad left, and then the mom didn't come back, I guess, basically. And so they think maybe like tossed her down and land, or like down some kind of mine shaft or some kind of thing. And in the areas that they kind of drove, like it would take years and years to search all that kind of stuff, you know. And so he actually never got acquitted, and he took his family or his kids all the way up to Washington or whatever, right? We see his dad and all that kind of shit, and they were living with the dad, and then he ended up going back over there and like fucking blowing himself up with the kids and shit in the doorway or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Like killing himself, like blowing up the house or some shit, like turning on the gas or something, and yeah, like. That lady I thought was the one that was found, you know, but like even just like those kids there's so many shafts, so many unexplored things that you would probably be the first person. She was probably whoever left that mine was like, all right, see you later, mine. Go to a gold mine. And then her body, like 20 years later, doosh, hitting the ground. Another 20 years, probably someone will find that. Like, that's how, and it's probably maybe so like 10 miles off the road. Drones. Yeah, probably, because spelunking's really gotten huge, because there's a big thing where people are finding all these artifacts, because
you're not supposed to go in those mines, though. If anyone's listening, they're dangerous.
Take a canary, right?
Well, so you got balls.
Not even for the fact that you can get killed by sulfur or whatever, methane gas. It's for the fact that there's old lumber that's holding up the mine.
If you sneeze wrong,
it might fail or something's misaligned.
Wow,
we are on a tectonic plate. What if you're in there exploring? Earth shifts.
Dude, come on, are you a cave guy? Buried. Like that guy, it was like 5 years ago that fucking died in those the Tooele caves they had. It was called, not the spaghetti caves or the slimy caves, or it was a bunch of caves you can crawl into a bunch and go spelunking down.
The shifty shafts.
It was something, I don't know if it was like that. It was something like that. But a family went there, like on some like family reunion they had, and so like a bunch of them were like, yeah, we'll go in there, a bunch of the kids and stuff, and they all went in there with their headlamps, and they've done it before. And some of the areas get really tight, and you kind of go squeeze through. And they went down into some of the different corridors, and one of the bigger guys got fucking stuck, and so he was just because he was taller, and so he got really really long in one of the areas, and he couldn't like get himself back out, and he was already hanging upside down, and so the area he was trying to slide into, he was just stuck, and so they had to get a bunch of crews in the area he was in. They only had to get smaller people, so all these girls were like having to climb in there and trying to get him, and they were roping him and pulling him out, and he kept like breaking the ropes and stuff like that. And it was after like 8 or 10 hours they ended up saying they lost response with him and everything, because they got him like a radio and stuff, and they think he like suffocated and died or whatever. So they pulled it out, and they're like, well, all right, we have to shut the cave down. So they just fucking walled it off.
Buried him in there?
He's in there, yeah.
What about the people that went in first?
They got out because there's other ways to kind of get out of there and stuff. But it was like a shaft area where he was like stuck, when you can kind of roll in and go out.
That's disturbing. I know there's a place like that in New Mexico, I think, where you go down on one. It's like maybe an hour through the cave. You start on one end and you come out the other end, but it gets so skinny through there that sometimes it's like only your shoulders can fit through it.
See, that is so scary to me. I think I might have seen those caves you're talking about, because I watched it on an Embedded with Donald Cerrone when they was going in there.
Why would anybody do that?
Yeah, so dude, it's like a week before his fight and some shit, and he's like goes crawling through the caves, and then like a bunch of them are like, hey, that's the way, and they're like going through some things. Like after a minute, they're like, dude, what the fuck, dude? They're like, is that turn around? Is that the way the fuck we're going? And they're like crawling through, and they're like, what the? They're like, dude, do you even see a slot out of here? And they're like, I'm gonna just turn around, dude. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And they're like adrenaline junkies, and finally they get out.
Dying though, is turning around.
Yeah, they get stuck, kind of pinned in there, and they finally get out of there, and they poke out one area, and it's like way down the area. They come out one little, because there's a bunch of like little kind of canyon caves that drop down, and that's kind of where you can kind of come in and out of it. And they're way down the way. They're like, holy shit, the truck's way over there. And that, dude, that's intense to me, because I don't know if it probably being a natural cave, it won't probably collapse as much, but what happens if you say like we're on tectonic plates, a little shift just crushes? But
if you get crushed, what do? You're crushed. But
unless it just crushes your leg, you're like,
just my ankle.
You just sit there and suffer, I guess.
Well, that's why you bring a pocket knife. Hardest part is breaking through the bone.
Yeah.
No, what would suck is getting stuck upside down or anywhere where you're just stuck. And the worst thing that gets you is panic, because people start panicking and they're like, ah! And then you're done.
Breathe up all your air.
And then someone freaking ate burritos before that, and they're...
Oh, dude,
it's like, oh, God.
Then if you're upside down, you just shit, and it like fucking rolls down your back. Your face. Like, oh, God damn, it's the fucking worst day of my life.
Human centipede
like,
style.
It's probably the last. Oh, my God, that'd be the worst.
I'm so sorry.
Someone's like, worst day so far.
That's why it blows my mind that they're finding all these underground civilizations, too. Like those whole tunnels and shit, like full-on cities underground. It's like, excuse me, that's fucking... I don't know, for me, I'd be like, I don't like this. I don't get like claustrophobic, because I used to climb through freaking crawl spaces and attics and shit like that all the time. But it was something that I would, because I felt like I'd be uncomfortable, so it was easy for me to be in there. So I'm like, all right, I can get through here and I could do stuff. But dude, if people that are like, yeah, I'm comfortable with this, I feel like that's when it get dangerous.
For me, if it was like an underground city and there was multiple ways out, and it was roomy enough where you could stand up and walk around and you knew your way around, I'd be fine with that. But if it was like, all right, there's one way in, one way out, and you have to
hopefully
crawl,
it doesn't rain.
And hopefully it doesn't rain.
Yeah.
That'd be a little creepy.
It's even, I mean, you can even go as far as, I thought it was weird too, is when I was living in California, when I remember being right to the beach, where I'm like, whoa, after I go swimming out there, I remember because the one time I got stuck out there, I was floating out in the abyss or whatever, and I just ended up floating. I'm like, God, who knows what the fuck is out here? This thing is crazy. And I'm like, oh man, you don't want to be out there? Yeah, out in the ocean. You're just like, man, that's kind of weird.
Fuck the ocean.
And then I remember just like, because I'd go run in there and stuff, and I'd just sit there, I'm like, this is the end. This is the end. Like, if, like, the edge of the world, the edge of my, like, world, I guess. Like, I'd go swim out there, but it's like a whole new world. Like, say some freaking aliens come, like, rolling in. They're, like, some riding in on some, like, orc things. They're already moving across the east to the west. Dude, what would happen until all of a sudden that thing showed up there? It's like, I can't go that way. I mean, I can go into the ocean, but I can't run that way. That army's coming this way. It's like, you're kind of, like, pinned in. You get pinned in by sometimes your elements that you're living in. You know, Utah, I guess you can kind of run and stuff. Go up in the mountains, but think about that. You get to that area, you only have 50-50 to go.
All I know about the ocean is you want to be worried about the smaller things and not the bigger things. Like the fucking box jellyfish. I'd be more worried about that than a shark. Because you can see a shark coming, but you can't see a jellyfish coming.
But yeah, that still wouldn't make it less scary. Like, have you seen those videos with a shark when the guy's like swimming up there and it's like, and it comes right up at him really fast and he hits him with the spear gun?
No.
Oh, dude, like, that's what scares me about a shark.
Didn't you shoot it, like, right in the mouth?
Oh, yeah, because he barely turns.
Okay, I did see that one.
And, like,
I
think if you hit it, maybe, boom! But, like, doesn't that scare, like, that's what I think is so scary, because, like, you see him kind of moving. That's how I felt when I went and do the scuba diving thing. You're, like, in this little fog tunnel, you can't move anywhere. And then all of a sudden, like, if something moves fast, you're like, like, moving slowly to turn, like, paddling. It's like, whoosh. It was like a rocket, you know?
Did you see the one with the hammerhead shark following the guy in a canoe?
No, that'd be fucking creepy.
Dude, creepy as fuck. He's out maybe like 200-300 meters offshore fishing, and he sees a hammerhead shark like coming in from the distance, and it's doing like a big old S pattern, and then it comes back around and it swims straight at him, and it goes under his boat, and he's like, oh, little motherfucker, and then looks back behind him, and he's got like a GoPro on his head and a GoPro on the front of his boat, so it's like looking over the back of him. And the shark does like another big circle around him, and it comes straight at him, and he keeps coming straight at him, like attacking his boat, and he keeps hitting it with his paddle.
Oh shit!
So then he starts paddling into shore, like fuck this thing, and he's paddling in, and it follows him in the whole time, either behind him doing like little S patterns following him, or coming straight like along his right or left flank, trying to hit the side of his canoe. And every time it comes in, he hits it in the head with the paddle, and it sinks back underneath, and it pops out the other side, and it keeps trying to like flip his canoe. The whole time it followed him in all the way to, I want to say like up to his knees in depth, where he like got out and like ran off, and he's like, "What the fuck, dude?" And the thing's like out there swimming around, waiting for him to come back out.
Dude, I wonder if it was like trying to crack it like an egg. It's like if you crack the eggs, the juice inside it's better. You just flip them over and it's tasty. Like how
dude,
the fuck
I think it was trying to
that?
flip him over, and because it seemed aggressive.
It seems weird. I always thought they would be weird to see from under the water. Because when you look out from underwater, you're swimming in, it looks kind of weird. But for them, I'm like, what does it look like? You know,
it probably looks like a dead fish floating on the water.
And they're like, on the opposite side, huh? They're like, come here, come on my side, trying to flip it over. Because dude, oh god, fish are just creepy in general. First off, shark fish.
Dude, even if it wasn't a shark, like I think, imagine if there was a giant bass. Like huge.
Sea bass.
Huge. They do have them. They're called Goliath. Aren't they called Goliath something?
See, that's the part too. Is like, say how big, like, and you're like, oh man, if it's a nice fish, until fish is not a nice fish.
No fish is a nice fish, dude.
It's like, you're like kibble. Like if you're the size of kibble bit to it, it's like, eat it, swallow you in, dude. Because they'll eat a fish the same size as us, or like itself almost. There's a lure, hit on a lure that's like almost as big as it. Grab on it.
They don't care, dude. I think fish are the most primeval thing on this planet, next to birds.
They're prehistoric, and there's more of them, and pretty soon they'll probably take over the world. They probably will. Well, shit, dude. I mean, should we go study some fish and chicken, maybe?
I think I'm going to go learn how to make a distillery.
How to make leather.
Fucking, dude, that is good stuff to do. That would be our next assignment. We should see what... There's an interesting prep item. Interesting prep skill.
Let's all get a prep skill. I'll learn how to make vinegar and alcohol. You learn how to make leather, and you learn how to.
I want to learn how to suture. How to.
Metal. All right, I'll try. You gotta make a furnace and a fucking.
Because look, how can I make alcohol with no sheet metal? You have to make it.
Damn, so I got to start first. Too.
How?
So it's like you first, and once your project's done.
How are you supposed to have a freaking sweet? What do they call those things that go on the front? An apron made of leather. If he doesn't make one,
that's true. You're gonna get burnt.
If I made a little distill in the back, I bet it wouldn't even.
And how am I supposed to make sweet, delicious alcohol for him to be drunk while he's making the leather?
That's true. Huh?
Circle of life.
It's a circle of life.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Well, thanks for almost a year, fucking randomly, because we did the Les Amigos one last, and then So until the next one, fucking do what you want to do. Buy through the Amazon links. Get some new Bose headphones. They're about $150.
Smash that like button.
They're nice.
They're fucking way nice, dude. I got these Skull Candy, whatever they are. They do not compare. Skull Candy's kids' headphones compared to the Bose headphones. Just saying. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, and go fucking learn a skill or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, learn how to fletch. Get your fire making level.
Smash that like button.
Or do what you want.